Everything you learned in history class was a lie. Well, maybe not everything, but they skipped the best parts. Introducing Stupiracy, where stupidity meets conspiracy. Ever heard of the Olympic marathon that nearly killed its runners? Or the time a pope put another pope's corpse on trial? Join me, Scott Rizzuto, and Tim McKernan as we uncover the most outrageous historical moments and mind-blowing conspiracies you won't believe actually happened. Tune into Stupiracy for your weekly dose of historical absurdity. Available wherever you get your podcasts. Remember, history is dumb, but laughing at it is smart.
Joseph,
Yep.
I got the first shot today.
How did you get it? What did
You
you
look
do
great.
to get it?
You look great,
I'll
Pat.
tell you what but I'm very worried that they're tracking me now, that they have implanted even though it only took about 1 second and you could barely feel that you had gotten an injection. I kind
Like
of
a
wonder
liquid
if
chip?
there's an implant in there that's
monitoring you,
tracking
yeah.
me around. That
Well, we've come to the conclusion that to get one, you're basically on your own. So how did you do it?
Well, Hennepin County had, which you don't live in, so that's a bad start. But if you're 65 or over, you can, register and not just register to get in the lottery, but register to get a injection, and to get the two. In this case, it was the Pfizer one, but you could also call, and I called at about 8:05. It took 15 minutes to get on the phone. This fella got on there. He was very helpful. I registered both of us. And by 10:30, we'd had 2 inoculations.
This is today?
Today, yeah.
Where'd you go?
And, well, you got to register and do the whole thing, but we went to the Hennepin County Medical Center.
They'll probably tell you where to go, what locations to.
And there wasn't there wasn't a big line or anything. Now, it was not. It was if they would have had a foot race in this group, I might have won. So it was an older kind of. Although there were some young kids in there too that had been exposed and were. It was. I was very impressed with the commitment of both the guy I had on the phone, and then here's what happened. He was checking something, and I lost him, and we were right at the time to get the appointments, and I might have cursed, thinking that I'd have to start all over again. And a minute later, the guy called me back and said, "Hey, he had the number." So
I can imagine.
And then when we got there, it was fine. The line was maybe from the time we got there until we had the injections was maybe 15 minutes.
That's nothing.
And then they want you to stay around for 7 or 8 minutes and make sure you don't
fight,
have the tremors. Well, no, if they were waiting for the fight, that would have been. Do you have any symptoms of anything? No,
he looks a little pale.
There was no chance I was going to get COVID anyway because I have the magic elixir. Right. Diet Coke, but it's nice to and you come they make the appointment. You come back in 3 weeks. We come back on February 22nd, and then.
So tell me protocol. How has your day been, and have you resisted the temptation to let people know this personal event that you had, that you've got the vaccination? Is it like people with that own air fryers?
I'm not going on Twitter and doing that. I'm not putting it on Twitter. I'm not doing that.
You're kind of laying low.
I mean, I'm 75.
Yep.
Fat.
Yep.
I got nothing. What advantages do I have in life?
Well,
this should be one advantage. I got 0 advantages in life. There's nothing that's really good.
Sounds like Kenny Olson.
Kind of like Kenny, but he's younger and not quite as fat.
Right.
But what I should, you can get a shot.
Right.
That's your 75.
There's one.
That's the advantage.
There's
nothing else.
Nothing
else.
Membership.
Well,
has
what do
its
you want?
privileges.
They're not going to write you a check.
No, but I'm saying I mean just life. Going down the street and having some good-looking blonde come up and grab you in the hiney, right? That ain't happening.
No,
that ain't happening.
Well, that ain't happening to a lot of us.
Right,
No,
right.
that's not happening to anybody, but it's certainly not happened to a
I
fat
was going to say,
75.
I'm married to one and that ain't happening to me.
I know, but
You know who her favorite
but
magician
there's
is?
the potential. There's the potential.
Yeah.
So there's nothing going on, right? Now
Yeah.
you can go watch the Timberwolves and maybe go blind, and you can go sit on a Zoom call and listen to the most boring quotes in the history of man, but the one advantage, you can get in line and get a shot.
There you go.
Right?
Optimism. That's
When do you go back
optimism.
now?
22nd.
Oh, the 26th. So they've already made that.
Major 3 weeks, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they were great. They looked like they were saying, hey, come on in. Well, come on, people. Where are you?
I don't get, though, how this led to this despondency. You got the shot.
No, I'm not despondent. I'm giddy.
Oh,
Yeah,
He's
But
happy.
I was despondent.
Yes.
Joe, this happened last night.
Yeah.
And it's really evidence of what a good human being I am.
There we go.
I'm a good guy.
See how the vaccination has changed
I'm
him?
a good guy. I go up. By the way, there was something going on in the neighborhood because we had cop cars running all over the place. I don't know what happened. I thought maybe if it would have been last week, I would have thought it was a drunk Packer fan, like duking out the
Zigzagging home.
bride or
Oh.
something. But anyway, I come back from the store, and the bride says, I lost the remote. Can't find it. Looking all over. And we got these small ones, that you
Yeah.
like, not as big as a cell phone. And so
Hard on the eyes at 75 to
It's
see
got a
those two, yeah.
tendency to get caught up in the
Couch cushion.
the cover, if you're
Nooks and
bed,
crannies.
the sheets, anyway.
Yep.
So basically, we do the whole thing.
Rip her down to the
I
studs.
shake out the seats. I flip over the mattress. I kind of try to, and then we go, okay, have you been out in the garage? Yeah, she has. So we went out there, not in the
Why
garage.
don't you film
Garage.
this?
What every room, where else have you
Right,
been
right.
in the
Yeah,
last
where have you
45?
been?
Were you in the
the
library?
office. You were in the office. Okay, we scoured the office. It wasn't in there, right next door. So
I can't wait to hear where it was.
now I already, since I stripped down the bed, I'm washing the sheets,
Right,
and
right.
making, doing the whole deal. And I said, okay, there's this little table over there that's got magazines and stuff on
Yeah.
it, and it looks crappy.
Kind of like the library portion.
Yeah, it's and I looked in there once, but I open up the door. This little tiny drawer, there it is, sitting right on top of the
Oh,
thing. Now,
here we go. You are
Most-
presented with two
No.
So
options.
this
here.
isn't the end of the story.
No.
no,
No.
the end of the story is
Here, blame.
I don't even put it in my hand.
Yep, here it comes. Don't
I
address
just
it.
put it on what is now an empty bed, and I walk downstairs and say, it was in that drawer.
Okay.
And
Cut it. Zip it right there.
because what if it had been the reverse, is what I was thinking. What if it had been the reverse, that I lost the remote, that a wild-ass search had taken place through the house for 30 minutes, and then it was in the most obvious location? What would have been the reverse reaction?
Belittlement.
Yes.
Some sort of belittlement.
Belittlement that would not only last, then it would last for days.
Oh, right,
And
right,
instead,
right in the back pocket. Put it right in the back
Instead, I
pocket.
just said, yeah, it was in the drawer. It's up there now if you need it.
Now, the old bad Patrick, what would he have done? Hey, I found your remote. It was in the bleeping drawer. Why did you put it in the... And that would have just
Yeah.
spurred.
Yes, well, that would have, but no, that was considered. But I just said,
your filter.
It's 9:30 at night.
I'm getting the shot tomorrow.
Well, I didn't know that.
Oh, okay.
then, but anyway.
That is...
I thought you were going to tell me you had to go out to a cable store and buy a new remote.
No. That was going to be option B until I opened the drawer next to where,
B.
It would have been, but I was just thinking, I'm the nicer person.
Absolutely,
I am the
yes.
nicer person, I think.
Uncle Frank was the brother of my Grandma Teresa, who was married to Red. And Uncle Frank liked to have his garden, raspberries, onions. He's making everything. He's an old 100% Polish guy, and he bought a hook, line, and sinker. Florence, his wife, had been slipping away a little bit, and she didn't remember everything. And one morning they got up. Frank was working out in the garden, and Florence came out without her teeth in.
Yeah.
And he said, "Where the hell are your," just like Louis Cardinal, "Where the hell are your teeth?"
Yeah.
And she said, "I don't know." So Frank gets up from the garden, brushes himself off, tears the house apart, tears it apart.
Yes.
Finally says, screw it. I'm going back to the onions and beets. So he goes back out there and he's gardening. She comes back out 20 minutes later. She's got her teeth in. She doesn't say anything. He says, "Where the hell did you find your teeth?" And she just goes, "I don't know." He said, he was cussing left and right, going, bleep, 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 bleep. She didn't remember. That's what I thought you were going to say, is we couldn't remember.
No.
Oh, my God.
I just wanted to come up with a story that reflected well on me.
Got it.
Was he the same guy, Rook, that told you the stoplight joke? Because Pat needs to add to his joke arsenal.
Okay.
Pat, I don't think Pat's going to like this joke.
Okay, the guy's hitchhiking. Hitchhiking on University Avenue. He's going west. Guy pulls him up, said, "Yeah, I'll take a ride downtown." Okay, hop in. They come up to a red light, and the guy doesn't stop. He just goes right through it. And the passenger goes, "What the hell was that? That was a red light." He said, "My brother does it all the time." Come up to another red light. He stops again. The guy says, or he goes right through it. He says, "What the hell? That was a red light." He says, "My brother, he does it all the time. Don't worry." They come up to a green light. He comes to a complete stop. A hijacker, the guy's looking around going, "What the hell? It's a green light." He said, "My brother might be coming."
See?
That was all right. Thank you,
That's got a
Pat.
bigger hit than I
Thank
thought.
you. That's a Red Maddock joke.
That is. I thought you were going to tell me Uncle Frank was like Red with the cat.
Oh, no. I don't think Frank had ever
Didn't have the
imbibed.
drinking.
Yeah,
Too
he
cheap.
didn't.
He was too cheap of a Polish gentleman to actually drink.
No,
But
but
Pat and Grayson. Wasn't Grayson the
Grayson
cat?
was the cat. And that was another famous time. My Grandma Teresa had maybe one too many to drink, and they were at the manor, I think it was, and she slipped and fell. And instead of running to her aid, he runs up to her at the full restaurant and goes, 7, 8. What a guy. Oh, my Lord.
So, Joe, last night, 12:15 or so, I'm getting ready to, because I got to get up early, and so I'm getting ready to go to.
Get my day plan, get everything ready.
I'm getting ready to go to bed for the night, and I'm looking up. There was some discussion of somebody trying to get me to watch this Ted Lasso
Oh, yeah.
series,
Netflix series.
and I said, "Is it cute? I hate cute. Like Schitt's Creek,
Yeah.
or Sheets Creek,
Yeah.
or whatever it is."
Schitt's Creek.
Which I didn't think was funny, by the
No,
way.
I didn't either.
I
So
loved it.
then I looked up the Ed Asner thing when he tells him Mary, and it wasn't cute. It wasn't I hate cute. It was you have spunk. And then she gets this kind of satisfied smile on her face. She says, "I hate spunk." And right underneath it was Norm Macdonald talking to the ESPYs, with the
my
greatest
God.
bit of all time. And, they can't take this award away from you, Charles, unless you kill your ex-wife and a waiter, at this crowd, with all kinds of stuff. So I did not go to sleep until 2 because I was watching Norm Macdonald videos.
Oh, my God.
Including the one about Hitler's dog, when he said,
I'm gonna have to go back and watch
one
that.
about Hitler's dog is, how dogs love everybody, and even Hitler had a dog who loved him.
But his delivery is what makes him.
Oh God, it is.
Just a
And
wonderful delivery.
He can do a rant on anything, but this is. Did you got Oscar Pistorius?
I'm ready,
This
yeah.
is his one on Oscar Pistorius. The guy with the legs who ended up killing his model girlfriend in South Africa.
appearances on Conan.
First of all, I know you're a big sports fanatic.
Oh, I
but
love sports.
You're also a guy that keeps up on the news, and there's big news out there in the sporting world.
The big news is Oscar Pistorius.
Yeah, huge news.
And I don't like him, don't care for him, never did.
Really? You don't like Oscar Pistorius even before he... What are you doing?
I have something in my tooth.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. I didn't like him.
You're saying, I mean, a lot of people don't like him now that he
A lot of
murdered
people-
somebody, but,
yeah.
but before that...
Allegedly. But also, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't have problems with the murder.
Right.
But what I never liked him racing with them things that looked like something Wile E. Coyote would order. And
What?
Well, they
You
were.
had a problem with him racing with his
Blades.
His blades. He was the Blade Runner.
Yes, he
Those
was.
Teflon blades.
I did have a big problem with it because, well, I'll put it this way. Let's imagine you're a runner, with legs.
Yeah.
And then you go home, you go, oh, I lost, honey. Who'd you lose to? Guy with no legs.
Wait. You're saying that you didn't like that Oscar Pistorius raced against people with legs?
No, I don't. I feel that one of the basic requirements of being a sprinter is having legs. I feel that they should say, okay, listen, let's, hey, what about you? I don't think you can be on the team. Why not? Well, you're not a biped. You have no legs, so scram.
Okay.
You take your time as long as you want. But get the hell out of here.
No one's going with you on this. Nobody is with you on this at all.
Except the feller at home that's like, that son of a bitch I lost my race to. You got no legs.
Are you saying he had an unfair advantage because he had these?
Well, of course. He had rocket ships.
They're not rocket ships.
Okay.
Andy, help me out here.
No, it's still him running.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Well, guys, I agree with you then. Oscar Pistorius is a scholar and a giant. He's a murderer.
Enraged.
Oh, and then here's the clip we used to play.
And there's Charles Woodson. How about that? What a season he had. Great, man. He became the first defensive player to win the Heisman Trophy. And congratulations, Charles. That is something that no one can ever take away from you. Unless you kill your wife and a waiter, in which case...
I listened to that whole thing he did.
my God.
That audience was mad.
Well, it was the ESPYs. This wasn't
Yeah.
a stand-up bit. This was the ESPYs.
Well,
award.
the best one was, who was the basketball player who had the 14-year-old Anthony Mason, right?
Oh, yes, yeah.
Anthony Mason, he
God.
said something about, just think, the ESPYs, 6 years already. That's not even old enough for Anthony Mason. And this whole crowd went, ooh. He says, but 12 years from now, Anthony Mason can date the ESPYs or something like that, Oh, God. And they kept showing Ken Griffey in the audience.
Oh, yeah.
And he was upset, man. They did not. They do not like to be needled.
No, they
We
haven't.
can't tell that. We can't play the one where he tells
Where he's
the
on
joke,
with
though.
Stern?
Yeah, that's
Oh, no,
like
not
one of my favorites.
Stern.
of all
Oh,
time.
God, yeah. Like an 8-minute joke, right?
Yep. The earth was uneven.
He also has a bit. One of my favorites is he's talking about the evolution of how news is delivered, and how he said, back in my day, the news was 30 minutes, and that seemed just about right. And how the endless 24-hour news.
Yeah.
It's so funny. It's so funny.
So he got in big trouble because he didn't really defend Roseanne Barr and Louis C.K., but he said, he felt sorry for them. He loves Roseanne.
Sure.
He's known her forever, and he got who they canceled. He was supposed to be on with Fallon, and they canceled his appearance that
really?
night because of some quotes about it. This was several years ago,
Right.
but when the Roseanne thing was
Hot and heavy.
he said a few inappropriate things. Somebody made a good point that we really haven't embraced outrageous humor since 9/11.
That's a good
that
point,
we became, that you could
We are
get
very
away,
sensitive.
you could get away with anything, and now, and of course, it's amped up too. But anyway, what else?
Pat, I'm on record as Reavers loves the new Wild uniforms last night. I don't like them. Why would you rip off a team that's now in Dallas?
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Boo, hiss, you
well,
too.
why does Dallas allow it?
Yeah, I don't get
Well,
it.
it's just a color scheme, though. That doesn't really impede on the what would you call it? The
Well, obviously,
trademark, yeah.
Obviously, they were aware that they weren't going to get in trouble.
Well, it's all they had to notify Dallas they were doing it, I would think, or the league
Does
or
Dallas
somebody.
really care, though?
But I don't know. But what are they going to do if Dallas comes to town? Are they going to wear them? They play Dallas, right?
But
no,
Dallas
wait.
doesn't even have. No, they're not in the same.
They're not same
They're not in
division.
the same division. They're in the Honda West division. The Wilds are. We sold sponsorships. You know that. For the
Oh,
division.
really?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, I thought you said Hondo, but you
No,
said
the,
Honda.
The Honda
So-
West. Yes.
So we have people referring to it as the Honda West.
Well, most of the purists don't, but I always like saying that because it's so absurd that we sold sponsorships for each division in hockey.
Well, how did Joe explain to me how they could look so inept against this team earlier, and they turn around and beat them with their Scribinis? That's the
I don't know.
nuance of hockey, right?
It's intensity, and the commie doesn't hurt him.
No.
Let's put it that way.
Boy, he's good.
Yeah.
What did he do last night? Did we get a goal?
I don't have this ad getting in front of
He
me.
had.
You know who's
I only saw the third
You know who's coming out of his shell and becoming a good player? And I asked the question earlier this season: was he any good? And Eck, he's a big fellow, and why isn't he centering Kaprizov all the time? And let's do it that way.
It's the damnedest schedule, though. You play these guys twice.
Yes.
It's just crazy.
Well, they play him
It's
two
just-
more times this week.
Yeah, they're
in
going out to
Colorado,
Denver
yeah.
now. They're
So
going out
here's
to
what you
Denver.
got. The NHL announced a partnership that each of the four divisions would be sponsored. The Wilds, of course, are in the Honda NHL West division with Anaheim, Arizona, Colorado, etc.
If we print that in my paper, I'm going to be very upset.
The North Division with Calgary, Edmonton, Montreal, Ottawa, Toronto, Vancouver, and Winnipeg is the Scotia, Scotia.
Scotiabank?
Scotia.
Is that a bank? Okay.
Scotiabank.
North Division.
Oh, yeah, Nova Scotia.
Sure, there we go.
Scotiabank, Yeah.
The Carolinas, Chicago, Columbus. The other is the Discover NHL Central Division.
Oh, yeah.
And in the East, you've got the Mass Mutual NHL East Division.
Wow.
So there we go.
Pat, we got to talk about Patrick Reed. I went down
man.
a rabbit hole looking up some stuff about him. Did you ever see his cheating in the sand at the Hero Challenge a couple of years ago?
Yes.
I hadn't, so I reviewed that. What was he thinking? Mm-hmm. You can't do that.
No.
You can't do what he
no,
did.
he's a cheater. And
He got a
and
two-stroke penalty, obviously.
This ball that he hit in Torrey Pines bounced 3 feet in the air. And the allegation that nobody saw it bounce, and even if it, how can you repair? Just go over and pick the ball up and say it was embedded because of the what? I mean, he's a cheater. There's
He's
no
a
doubt
cheater.
about it.
You know what this is going to result in? They're going to be using TV instant replay with a rules official.
Again.
Yeah.
Again. Because they stopped doing that because the Gladys Kravitzes of the world were always calling in, and the male, the 70 guy my age now, calling in and complaining, I saw him moving, the ball wiggled or something. But,
Right.
yeah, he's, that Augusta, the college basically threw him out they thought he was a thief.
Yeah.
They thought he was stealing stuff from his teammates. And then... this is the idea I did everything right, and this is Trump saying I won in a landslide. This is, it's.
Well, he gave himself a shot, and he salvaged par on the hole. He gave himself an improved lie.
Yes, yeah, well, he did. He went over and dropped it, and he ends up making bogey out of that lie for sure. Yeah, he's cheating, and I heard some people were upset that the telecast because they went on and on and on about it, but it's golf. You follow the rules when you play a competitive round, for God's sakes, and why the guy from the PGA who came over and gave him absolution, I have no idea on that, but they're so embarrassed. I mean, he wins anyway, but I got to think that he walks in a locker room, man.
I don't think he's got a lot of friends.
Well, and I bet he has some people that blatantly come over and tell him he's a cheater, because he's that last one. And he's had that reputation since he came in, and now it's solidified. Nobody can watch him play now and that thinks he follows the rules. That was absurd.
It really was.
Embedded ball over the rough. And that bounced up and 3 feet in the air. And nobody saw it. Well,
like Faldo says, he's never seen a ball get embedded after the first hop.
No, and then he's saying, well, nobody saw it bounced.
Yeah.
But that doesn't change the fact that he then said, even though it did bounce, that the ball still was embedded. And he's dabbing at it with the face of his club to make a little indentation there.
Helping it out a little bit.
I wonder who his caddy is that can put up with this. I wonder who's carrying a bag around for.
If you're your caddy, do you turn him in or whatever because he's in, he loses the money?
Yeah. You end up, you get 10% of what he does. But
like Judge Smells with the foot wedge.
Yeah, right. yeah. No, it's an embarrassment, Joe.
It really is. And it's a shame because golf has just got that wonderful image. And he single-handedly is really throwing a monkey wrench into the whole deal.
Chambly's my favorite guy, and he is beyond. He is beside himself that nothing's being done about this. I wonder if they can go back and look at it and say, suspend him or do some damn thing. They got to do something.
Are you aware of the Scott Erickson problem?
I did see that.
Yeah. He was racing some woman, and
57-year-old woman who's a do-gooder of a
philanthropist.
A philanthropist out there, and married to a guy with half the money, a guy named Goodman.
Grossman.
Grossman, is that it? Grossman. And in an area, obviously an exclusive dwelling up there, and
just a horrible
run
story.
over 2 kids, and
he didn't, but he was racing the woman who did.
Her.
Yeah.
And what would that be? You know each other, and you're at a stop sign, and so you take off, and it curves around up there.
Rev it up a bit and
curves around up there, and they run over an 8-year-old kid and
his 11-year-old brother.
Yeah, and killed them, and
because mom and dad were with them.
Apparently,
walking.
mom and dad basically saved a kid in a stroller and another kid, but they didn't have time to react to the other two boys. She's going away for 35 at a minimum. I saw that. I mean, she's gonna.
But I was
she didn't
wondering,
have trouble with the bail. She posted $2 million bail.
She pleaded innocent, obviously.
well, I'm just wondering too if he's got that kind of money, is she going to serve that amount of time, or will they plea?
Oh,
well, they're going to plea. What can they plea? I don't know. I mean, if you run over 2 little kids when you're being an idiot, do you really?
Are you extended any?
Do you really value your freedom enough to?
That's true.
That's say,
true.
I deserve whatever you give me. I don't know. Unreal.
That's just a horrible story.
Yeah, it is. But it would indicate that Scott hasn't grown up yet. So,
good point.
I would like to know the cars that were involved, but we don't have that.
No, just to see if they're racing Porsches or some damn thing.
Oh, by the way, going back to the Wild, what's the Marco? I saw on your Twitter the Marco Rossi thing. Is he in health? Is he in grave
went
health?
back to. He had the COVID.
Yeah, I knew that.
And now there's complications, and he went back to Austria.
Oh wow.
Went back to hang out with mom and dad, and supposedly under orders to do nothing.
Really?
So everybody's surmising that it might be that what is it, Joe?
Myocarditis.
Myocarditis. But they're not. That's not being released. But there's some kind of serious complication.
Because he can't. He's not even 20, is he?
Nope,
he's
19.
a kid. Yeah.
19.
Wow. Well, that's too bad.
Mel Antonin died. He was I can't remember. It was 40 some years ago, but he was in St. Paul for a while, either as our intern or a sports clerk. I can't remember which, but he was 20 years old and nice kid and enthused. And then all of a sudden he pops up at USA Today as one of their baseball writers and had a long run as a baseball writer for USA Today. Lake Nordine, South Dakota, small little town, and very proud of his South Dakota roots. And his dad was the head of the baseball organization out there. Like Freddie Roofs, who just died here, was the head. And he was writing I got an email from him about 6 weeks ago, maybe 5 weeks ago. He's writing a book on his dad and South Dakota baseball and the roots of South Dakota baseball and stuff. Never mentioned to me that he was in health distress, but he got the COVID in June and had a terrible immune system to start with, I guess, and then got into his liver or something. But I think
that's too bad.
I think when we were communicating with each other, he already knew that it was basically curtains.
Wow.
And but
Was he
didn't-
St. Paul or Minneapolis paper?
He was with us in St. Paul for when I was there. And
I love how he says us in St.
the
Paul.
late 70s. That wasn't. They were us. They were us, man.
Okay, well, I wasn't at the St. Paul paper in the
you
late
weren't,
70s.
but
no.
yeah, he was there as a. I think he was writing, so it must have been as an intern. And but that's 40 some years ago, and I was still drinking.
How old of a guy was he?
I can't remember him going. I don't think he seemed like a nice Christian young man. We never did get him over to Luigi's and crawl back on his belly for the second shift. We didn't.
Didn't happen, huh?
Mel, I'm ordering 8. How many do you want for last call? I don't know. I don't know what the answer would have been. So that's
ordering
Long's
8.
favorite story is the night that I was running the desk and it was late and we were on a Saturday night and I was trying to wait for a late night story and I said, "Hey, you guys get me 6 gin and tonics, will you?" They were small glasses, I must say. They were small
In
glasses.
defense of yourself.
In defense of myself. Well, he and Augie ended up in different places. So when I got there, there were 12 they'd each offered me. I had to stay a little past 1:30 to get those done, but we finished them.
Sure.
How many do you want for last call? 6. I'm going to go easy tonight, just 6.
Calling in, we do that. We had the on Friday nights and Saturday nights. I guess Saturday nights we'd have what I would describe as if I was running the desk, the pre-crush cocktail, and we'd at 8 we'd put out the first run on Sunday, and that was done like about 8, and then we'd call in our order so we'd get there about 8.
That's dedication, Pat. You were dedicated.
We get there about 8:15, and the whole come on, boys. If you tried calling the office between 8:15 and 9:15, nobody home, baby. Nobody home.
So was it that busy that you felt you weren't going to be able to wait 2 minutes to get those cocktails?
Well, when
I know there was urgency.
when you're
shaking
ordering
up.
in multitudes.
No, it's the pre-crush, though. It's pre-crush.
Pre-crush, because we had to be back. Yeah, we had to be
That's
back
what's
when the
unbelievable.
call started. Yeah, the pre-crush cocktail. So that was a famous tradition at that paper.
Are you guys sending anybody down to Tampa
For
the Super Bowl?
I'm not sure if
'Cause everything's
Mark
virtual.
Craig is usually our guy, but I'm not sure. He stopped making road trips and did the Zoom thing, so I'm not sure if he's going or not. To be honest,
Because I saw Kansas City's not even going to town until Friday. They're treating it like it's just a regular road game, which I found interesting.
So, you think your young guy is going to beat the old man, Joe?
I do. I really do.
I'm a little nervous because their great
Fisher,
left tackle
yep.
got hurt, And Mike Remmers, who we do not remember fondly here as a Viking playing right tackle, is now going to be their left tackle against a Jean-Paul Pierre, even though he
lost a couple digits.
Missing 3 fingers from the fireworks, he's still a monster. And their defensive ends are pretty damn good. So,
and it's only a 3-point. Kansas City's only favored by 3.
The number's not high there. People don't trust Brady to not win.
I just find Mahomes just easier to root for than Brady.
Brady is Mahomes has a reality about him when you hear him talk and you do it. I mean, and Tom, the real Tom does not come out in public too often, I don't think. But I was saying earlier today, Judd, I was saying earlier today to Judd that this guy is an extreme psychotic competitor, even in his relationships, because he knocked up Bridget Moynihan, the very attractive actress, had a baby with her, and dropped her like a bad habit when he had a shot at Giselle Bundchen, supermodel.
Time to upgrade over Bridget Moynihan.
Yes,
right.
How many people have upgraded over Bridget Moynihan? That's
And he even gets so lucky that Bridget and Giselle get along.
yeah, that is weird too. Yeah.
That does make it a little more.
Do you think he
Interesting.
suffers from the game of flaws at home, Tom Brady?
I think we all have the perception that at home she calls the shots, right?
Yeah.
He might not have listened to Belichick at all matters, but I think he does probably of Giselle.
I'm with you.
But Giselle is wilder in her defense of him than he is in defense of himself when the controversies erupt.
Well, it was one of the Super Bowls, right, that they lost to the Giants, where she went nuts about how.
She said he can't catch the ball and throw it.
Yeah,
that's
right.
right.
Oh, yeah. She's. But how many kids they have?
I'm not sure.
I think 2.
No, they have more. I
Just
think
two.
they have more than that.
I
Well,
bet those
Well,
little.
look.
I bet those little kids aren't eating any ho-hos.
No.
No, when they go over to their neighbor's house, they are just ding dong galore. It's like kids that are not allowed to watch TV. That's all they want to do.
They probably make the playmates weigh in to see if they're overweight or not. But you got to give him credit, man. 43, and he still has some arm strength, and he can still not run around in the pocket, but he can still step around in the pocket.
Yep.
It's incredible. Yeah.
Boy, he's got quite the Wikipedia page.
Yeah, I know he does.
I'm trying to scroll
I got
down
a
to
hunch
the
that Wikipedia page is edited about every 25 minutes to make sure there isn't any derogatory remarks.
If he wins, do you think he plays next year? Or is this a perfect write-off into the sunset?
Promised
You know
to
which
play
team
till
hold-
45.
You know which team holds the record for most Super Bowl losses?
Well, we're tied with Buffalo, aren't we?
Buffalo and the Vikings.
New England, 5.
Oh, that's right. You're right.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Dallas has probably got 5 too, right? I think Dallas has lost 5.
Now maybe you root for Brady because it is a hell of a story. That he leaves his empire in New England and he's 40. What is he now? 43.
Yep.
43, and he pulls this off against the best new young quarterback in the world. I don't know. It's just going to be a great game, maybe.
Yeah, it should be a game that that should be covered in normal manner, but it's not. I root for Kansas City because of Andy. I love Andy. I root for him. Although Arians is an old, crusty character too, who's runs around wearing that stupid hat that he wears. And
What do you think of the trade that sent Stafford to L.A. for Goff?
it shows you that the dreams of getting Deshaun Watson. If you can get 2 number ones and a 3rd rounder and
a
have to
starting
take
quarterback.
and have to take Goff for Stafford, if you can get that much for Goff, Deshaun, you got to get.
Yeah.
I still think it's worth it.
3 number. Oh, I do too. But as I said last week, you get 2 number one. You trade 2 number ones for Deshaun, and then you trade another one for getting rid of Cousins. So and then you give him other stuff too. So, but I think he's going to end up going to Miami, and they're going to get Tua back and a couple of number ones on that deal, don't you?
And their own draft pick back
Yes.
from Miami.
Yeah. The amazing thing, though, is the Rams, Joe. That's back to the 1960s where you didn't really give a damn about draft choices. You know, you traded them willy-nilly. When this is over, they won't have had a first rounder for 7 years or some
Something like
damn
that,
thing.
yeah.
They just say to hell with them. We'll find somebody in the second round, third round.
Well, it was either, that you would throw them around for players, or in some cases, a sports writer might cost you a draft choice, too, once in a while.
yeah. Well,
What
you
a
know,
dum-dum.
I think that somebody has to monitor if the local teams are cheating. I mean, basically, what you saw that day at practice, Joe, was as blatant as Patrick Reed cheating in the rough at Torrey Pines. You had to report it, Joe.
I did.
Yes, that's right.
What's he doing over there?
Right. I mean,
Where's that guy play?
if you were standing outside Watergate and saw these criminals running out of the building, wouldn't have you called the police?
I
You
would
know?
have. I would have said,
Yes,
what's
right.
going on here?
That's right. These guys, what's this? Have you watched? My wife's like a Watergate fanatic, and there's that 4-part late documentary that
I have
came
not
out
seen
like
that.
6 months. Man, there's some stuff in there that's unbelievable.
You got to get something on them.
Well, it was how incompetent these buffoons were that they chose to break in there. I mean, Gordon Liddy was complete fruitcake, and he's leading the charge, and it is. I mean, he was going to win by 10 percentage points. So what were you doing?
You got to get something on them.
What were you
As
doing?
Vogel, as Nixon said, you got to get something on them.
But it was a scandal we could at least understand.
Yes, that's true.
I miss those scandals.
Yeah, right. That's true.
Well,
There's scandals taking place right now. We don't have any clue.
speaking of that,
Nothing.
Pat, I wish you could have seen the mayor's facial reaction from last Friday when we had Pete Nigerian on trying to explain to Joe
Oh, yeah.
GameStop.
Oh, my God.
GameStop. Well, Pete would then have to try to explain it to me, too.
Okay, Pat, I got one for you.
All right.
I'm listening to your Friday podcast and hear you and the dum-dum struggling to understand the GameStop situation. I realize you probably already have 500 emails explaining this, but I think I can offer a very simple explanation that everyone can understand, even a concussion-affected brain. Because I said I had 2 bad concussions in my life. That's why I can't understand this stuff. It is Monday morning. Joe is looking at stocks and thinks Acme is a little undervalued and it might be a good buy. The price is $10 a share, so Joe buys a single share. Rookie is also looking at Acme and thinks the stock is overvalued and will go down in price. So Rookie goes to the brokerage house that holds stocks, except he doesn't buy a share, he borrows a share. He gets 1 share and pays a small fee and a little interest for the privilege. He also gets an IOU from the brokerage house. Rookie has it set up.
I'm lost already, so go ahead.
Yeah, Rookie has it set up so on Friday of that week he has to return his share of Acme. That would be the call. Rookie gets his share on Monday and immediately sells it for $10. Then he waits. Friday afternoon. Let's say Rookie is correct. Acme has dropped to $5. He goes out on the market, buys 1 share, returns it to the brokerage, and pockets $5 profit. Let's say Rookie is wrong and the Acme stock has climbed to $20 a share. Rookie still has to return a share, so he buys one for $20 and he lost 10.
That's how that works. I never could figure out selling short, so that's
Right.
good. Okay.
And that-
So go on.
The above is what is happening with GameStop, only on a much larger scale. Part of the issue is that these stock holding companies will loan out way more shares than actually exist. The other issue is that as the hedge fund starts buying to cover their IOUs, it raises demand for that stock even higher and fuels the fire. Chuck in Utah. said
But
that in.
wasn't this a bunch of game stoppers,
Yep.
young kids who got on Reddit, whatever that is, and they got some website that they share on Reddit, and some 5 guys said, let's buy GameStop. We don't want GameStop to go out of business, plus we don't want these thieves to steal GameStop from us. And then they found out, boy, this works pretty good. So now there's something else, right? What were they buying?
there was
Today, silver.
AMC?
silver today. They're driving up
We're
silver.
driving up the prices. Well, I don't hold any silver.
Wasn't
I
it
haven't-
AMC, the movie theaters?
Yeah, it was there. That was over the weekend.
Oh,
too.
really?
Yeah.
Because haven't they just gone out of business?
Well, they were. Yeah, they were. I mean,
No, who's the one that already Regal packed it in?
I think Regal's out, but
Regal packed
AMC
it
is
out.
still alive. But they're hurting for certain.
But these people started buying AMC to drive it up.
AMC was one of those three, the initial three with GameStop. I don't remember what the third one was.
Doesn't look good for my favorite theater. I drove by yesterday to see if they had anything on the billboard. Willow Creek.
Willow Creek?
I'm not sure they were the Mueller family.
Oh, okay.
Mueller
yes.
family,
Yep.
but then they think they already had changed hands by then, and it doesn't look good for them.
Oh,
Joe, we're
that's-
never going to go to movies again, the way it looks.
Well, I think everything's changing more than we
Oh, God,
would ever
yes.
choose to believe.
Yeah.
What's
These
baseball doing now? They're saying, let's have a 154-game season, start a month late.
I think that's a good idea. Don't you?
Well.
Don't you? To try to get some people in the ballpark. What the
Yeah.
hell? But the players don't want it just because the owners suggested it, because they don't want.
It wasn't their
They
idea.
don't want to concede to anything because they got the big. Because the rumor is, the legend is that Tony Clark, after he got the job, who died? Wiener, right? What was Wiener's first name? The
Anthony.
No,
that's the other
guy. No, that's the bad
That's
guy.
the wiener guy.
That is the
That's
wiener
the
guy.
wiener who likes
Yeah.
to show his wiener.
That's right.
It's Matthew or something.
What the hell are you talking about?
The head of the Players Association,
Oh.
and then Tony Clark became the first former player to become the head of the Players Association. And it was the national pundit said he lost the last negotiations. So Tony and his advisors are playing complete hardball. And I would say that, when people are signing $300 million contracts, you look kind of idiotic. And in the middle of a pandemic, you look kind of idiotic to say, no, we're not going to take this proposal because,
Right.
I mean, the owners could shut this baby down and not have a season in 2021.
Oof.
God,
what a mess that would be.
But if you're ever going to do it,
Now's
if
the
you're
time.
ever going to do it, now's the time, right?
Yeah.
When there's no, when there's no prospect as to, us 75-year-olds who are getting our vaccine can only buy so many tickets.
Right.
We can only buy so many tickets.
So to review, you enjoyed getting the vaccine because it was something. You finally
It was
got something.
It was an
Yeah.
advantage
Right.
of being 75. there
Yeah,
are
yeah.
no other
There are no other
advantages.
advantages.
There are no other advantages.
Yeah.
Maybe extra time to look for remotes. That would be one advantage. Oh, I love that.
I got to go to the bank.
Okay.
Do you think, by the way, do you think I got to thank you when I found the...
I was going to ask you.
was
that. You
afraid
don't
to
want to
ask.
go there, Pat. You don't want to go
I
there.
got to know. I just got to know. Oh, really? Oh, yeah, I thought I looked in there.
You're welcome.
No.
No.
See, to maintain your role as the good guy, you can't even expect a thing.
Well, you got a minute.
Yep.
So today, I don't actually have the address of where we're going, but I know where it is. You're right.
Okay.
So, the guy says the blue building. So there's not a blue
We are
building.
looking for a
There's
blue
not a
building.
blue building, but that's the name of the building.
Okay.
The blue. It's
Okay.
like it's got a blue entryway, and it
Got
said
it.
blue entrance.
Right here.
So I park, and we're standing in a line behind some other doddering fools, and I start getting hell about not having the address and what would you do, and I said, why is this a discussion?
Yeah, you're there.
We're in line.
We're
We're
there.
in line. Let's not. There's plenty of flaws. You don't have to. We're in line, and it got to the point where we got a glance from the. Because I had to go with the who gives a.
Okay. Yep.
At a who
Right.
gives
It was
a.
in this echo chamber.
No,
Oh, yeah.
it wasn't that loud, but it was about like this.
Okay.
Who gives a
Bleep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bleep.
yes.
A bleep.
I think I was totally justified.
I think so.
So
Was
even
that-
if in a line to get a COVID vaccine.
Would finding the blue building be on par with you driving Vogel home and him telling you it's the white one?
Yeah, it's right up here.
No,
on
we
the,
drove right to it because I knew it was like 900,
Okay,
whatever
got
street it was on.
Got it.
But it wasn't blue. I said the blue
Just off
building.
of
It's-
Cleveland.
But I said, you think there's any chance because it said blue entrance here that this might have been what he was talking about?
Shot. There you go.
you
So
see, you can't go back and point that out.
Okay. No accolades for being the guy who
You found it.
registered everybody,
That's right.
who waited on the telephone, who got the appointment. Nothing of that. Just not being exactly sure where the blue
Okay,
building
wait.
was.
Let's one more.
Give him something, Rook. Give him
One
something.
more perspective. What percentage? You got to get into her mind right now. What percentage in her mind wanted you to not find it?
That's
You think
the
there was
trouble.
a high
And
percentage?
miss the appointment.
Completely blew it. So because,
I would say 50-50.
okay, 50-50.
Yeah,
I got
that's
you.
right.
She wouldn't have been
See,
disappointed
because
had you
the
not
virus,
found it.
the inoculation can only take care of you for 6 months.
Right.
This could last a
This
lifetime.
is forever and ever. Amen.
That's right.
Wait a minute. We got to get these things every 6 months?
Well, I don't know how long. We don't know, Joe.
Oh, you
Hell,
got-
we don't know. For all we know, there's a mutant strain just
Don't get him
starting to
Right,
have
all over
fun
again.
up there in
Here we go.
Duluth.
I
right?
wouldn't leave
Lake
here.
they're bringing in this cargo from Lake Superior
there,
pretty
yeah,
soon.
China.
These guys are coming in from God knows where.
Bilge pump. I mean, they're dumping water.
We might have the South African variant, meet the English variant, meet the Brazilian variant.
Mutation.
Right in the port of Duluth, and who
Yes.
the hell knows what we're going to have.
Dogs are going to be going crazy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't leave your house, Joe. I know you're up there on 5th. I'd stay.
I got to go to the bank, though.
See you later.
I don't do it online.
Might be your last time.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
Might be.
Okay.
All right, boys.
See
ya.
Yeah.
5,000.
I've got a buddy, Bob, who has 3 New Year's resolutions every year, and truth be told, he rarely succeeds at accomplishing his goals. He's not alone, by the way. Only 10% of us do accomplish our New Year's resolution. Then it hit me. Bob should call the Canopy Group. Why? Bob wants to read more, and I'm not going to be able to read to him. Bob wants to lose 20 pounds, and I'm sure not the guy to help him with that. But I can help him with his 3rd resolution, and that is to save money. How's he going to do that? By handing this resolution over to the 30 professionals at the Canopy Group. They will help Bob save money on his home and auto insurance and have better coverage at the same time. There's 16 companies assure Bob's success, not only just this year, but they will do this for Bob every year to be sure he has the best coverage at the best price. New clients save more than $800 annually. Hand your New Year's resolution over to the Canopy Group and be part of the 10% with good old Bob who succeed in accomplishing at least one of their New Year's resolutions. Call 800-967-3389 or visit thecanopygroup.com. All you Bobs out there, get with it. 800-967-3389 or visit thecanopygroup.com.
Hey, it's Reavers for Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold, and he has a very simple question for you. Do you know what you own? You see, Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold's clients, they always know what they own. And he's also found out that most people that he meets with every single day, they have no idea. Josh has seen retirement portfolios that have a big percentage in bonds, and there are real instances of people that are paying way more in commissions and fees than they can possibly make on the rate of return that these bonds currently yield. Josh begs of you, know what you own. Trust is often overused, and it's even harder to find. Please take it from me that you can trust Josh. Give him a call today for that free 48-minute financial consultation at 952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608.
Hi, this is Chris Howard, host of Plugged In with Chris Howard. It's crazy to think that a few weeks ago we were talking about whether or not Tua Tagovailoa should consider retiring. After 2 concussions and worldwide debates on player safety and NFL culpability, Tua has done nothing but go back to work and currently has the Dolphins riding a 3-game win streak and 1 loss behind the division favorite Buffalo Bills. While everyone was yapping about the end of his career, Tua Tagovailoa said he'll decide when it's time. And clearly, he's not ready to hang up the cleats. Hi, this is Chris Howard from the Plugged In with Chris Howard podcast. BetOnline.net is your number one source for betting football and the start of the new basketball season. Find all the latest player developments, team matchups, news, podcasts, and in-depth analysis on every game. BetOnline remains your continued source for all your sports wagering information with live betting, up-to-the-minute scores for the fastest and easiest way to check in on all your favorite games and events, including the MLB playoffs, the start of the NHL season, MMA, boxing, and golf. And if you love sports podcasts, you can find those at BetOnline as well. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Hi, it's Kristen. Did you know that not doing things is easier than doing them? There's a lot of things to do, especially this time of year. But when you don't do things, there's more time to do things. Does that make sense? What I mean is when you use Shipt to get everything from gifts to groceries delivered same day, you have more time for the things you want to do. To not do things so that you can do other things, visit shipt.com/holiday. That's SHIPT.com/holiday.